man, I
There we go.
long story short, so I wanted to do something that was like going to get people's attention, but I didn't want people to know that I did it. And not trying to create a sob story on your show, but
No,
a lot of,
go ahead, yeah.
a lot of people didn't think that I possessed talent. At the time, I was kind of in, I'm not going to say one brother's shadow, but like all my brother's shadows. So I had to find
Baby
something that
girl,
was going to
right?
create my way out of that. And this was that. So I went into this little boutique shop one day, and I'm a name drop somebody. Her name is Jan. I always do when I get on the show or podcast because she was a very pivotal part within the brand. And what happened was I went to her shop one day, and I got a Letterman jacket done because at that time this was doing, and I'm probably gonna be all over the place a little bit, but all of it's within the story though. But
Hey,
like
let's do it. Let's do it.
this was during the heat of like when Twilight was big because I was obsessed with vampires at the time. So Twilight, Vampire Diaries ain't come out just yet, but like all of these were like at its peak. And matter of fact, I want to say it did Vampire Diaries, if I'm not mistaken. And then of course my older brothers, they put me on the old vampire movie like Lost Boys and all that. You'll probably know more about that, but yeah, they put me on that. And I was just like, man, I want to create something cool and fun. So when I saw that you can put monogramming on a shirt, that was like euphoric to me. It was like, man, that's dope, man. Like something that's coming from your own mind that you could put on clothes. And at the time, the brand was called Lost Boys because I was, again, I was obsessed with vampires. And my cousin, man, she sat me down and she was just like, yo, like you gotta, if you, and because she put me on meaning for your brand. Like she was like, if you're gonna really come up with something, your stuff gotta resonate with somebody. They gotta have a reason to why they want to put on your shirt as opposed to somebody else. And we were just kind of bouncing back names back and forth. And again, people used to tell me when I was younger, man, like I was a nerd, too imaginative. You listen to white boy music, like all types of stuff people used to say about me. You know what I'm saying? People never really associated me with being the guy or having talent. You know what I'm saying? So Sincerely Yours kind of came from a place at first before I made it to the public, of feeling kind of that void. So back to me and my cousin, I was just like, yo, I would just bouncing names. I said, you know what? I'm gonna call this Sincerely Yours because I ain't want nobody to know that I created the brand. My vision at the time was to be like, this is the brand, and one day somebody gonna find it that like, oh, he created that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the whole name Sincerely Yours was more of like kind of saying like this is a hidden message. Man. And I realized that everybody kind of go through, trying to get their arts and talents out there, and sometimes they don't know how to do that per se.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. It came from.
What? Also, too, that's where your creativity came in. That's where being a nerd actually benefited us because coming from the Geek Squad in our Best Buy days, so now you get where you brought your imagination to life. You actually also produced a book called Rite Without a Pen.
Yeah, yes, sir, I did. Yeah. 2017 actually.
I remember seeing that book on Amazon.
Yeah, it was. 2017, man. I released it. Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And actually, it's crazy because in the book I actually wrote a poem called "Sincerely Yours" to where I was talking about the brand and just how I gave up on my dream at the time, man. So yeah, it was a real deep book.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a quick read, man. 46 pages, man.
Yeah, man. How many pages was it?
So it was 46 pages. I made it a quick read impossible. Just to be, on purpose. I did that because I was just like, when people read a book, sometimes they can get overwhelmed when it's a huge book, almost just huge. So I was like, man, let me make it a quick read, short stories and poems that I've written over the years. And then when I kind of got in that writing pocket, I kind of wrote maybe 4 to 6 new pieces that was in it. And I released that, man, and I'm very proud of that book, man, because I don't think I'll release a book again. I kind of want to release another one, but
we need part 2, man. We need volume 2.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about Writer Without a Pen too, man. But I just been kind of I've been kind of on that thing of the first one did so good, so I'm kind of on a jinx of the sophomore album, kind of so I don't know, man.
Carter 2, huh? Carter 2.
Hey, that's exactly where I got the idea from Wayne, man. Writing Without a Pen 2, then we're gonna have 3, and then I'm gonna hang it up, man.
You know, you gonna be like Jay-Z, man, because Jay-Z made so many Blueprint albums. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He made about 8 blueprints. Like,
Man, you know what's
remember.
crazy, man? It's like, and I learned this throughout business, man. It's like when you find something that works, man, just stick with it, and then from there, you can fine tune it, and like, because if you think about it, like, okay, think about every year, right? What happens in the wintertime? Everybody get cold, right? Yeah. So the first thing that come in your mind, hey man, I gotta go buy me some Timbs. Don't nobody say no when you go buy the same Timbs every year, right? Am I lying?
Right.
You go buy the same bubble coat. You go buy the same. Yeah. Thank you. You go buy the same stuff. So I was like, man, I'm gonna kind of make my stuff classic. I'm still gonna do newer stuff, but just sticking to like just what works, man. And sometimes that's what you got to do, because when something is classic, like how Levi's is, or how like Ralph Lauren or anything like that, it's timeless. It can go throughout, you know, throughout time base. So that's what I always try to do with my brands, man. Have stuff that people can go back to when it's that time. Oh, I need that hoodie. Oh, okay, let me get that. Let me get the black zone. Let me get the white one, the gray. You know, however like that.
Right.
You know.
Man, I can also see that you've actually formed some other brands too. So some other brands too, like a Feel Good Today. Tell us real quick, who is that brand catered to? It's catered to the kids, the ladies, the men. Who is it catered to?
It's everyone, man. Everyone that's in an upbeat personality. That brand right there is, you know, I like to call it the happy brand. That brand, real quick, I'll try to keep it short as possible because I know we got time on the show. But like, that brand came to me in a dream, man. Actually, I was asleep.
Whoa!
And it woke me up out of.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, man. I was just like, it was just like colors. It was just like, it was like for real, on a serious note, man. It was just like a bunch of colors in my head, right?
Yeah.
And like right when I was about to wake up, it wasn't like a nightmare, or I wasn't like in distress or nothing. But when I woke up, I just saw FGT, Feel Good Today. I just saw that in my mind. I was just like, dang, like that means something. You know what I'm saying? And then throughout that day, I had more time to kind of play with it and kind of come up with something. So I was like, okay, brand's message is going to be, it's okay. You still have 400 seconds in the day to make this day feel good today. Because a lot of the times, man, you can get knocked off your day just by the simplest thing. Somebody might, like right now, you feeling good. You might get off this interview. Somebody say something that tick you off. Now you gone. You know what I'm saying? Your whole energy just shifted. You know.
Yeah.
So that's where that brand comes from, man. It's catered to everybody. It's no specific audience. The way I'm gonna make it is, you know, I don't care what the season is. It's gonna be bright colors all season. So you know how like in fall, like with this brand in the fall, you know, I might drop like the olive greens or the burgundies, you know, fall colors. Yeah. But with that brand, it's color year round. It's just happy. It's good vibes. When you put that on, man, you should want to feel good. Yeah, and you should be reminded that you have all these seconds in a day, man, to turn your day around, man. So that's the whole meaning of that brand, right?
I like that. So, you know, we got into a lot of stuff earlier. So tell us about how, you know, what you're doing for the community. What's your vision for, you know, the youth?
Yeah. So right now I have an ambassador program under Sincerely Yours Group for Sincerely Yours Wear. Is basically to where I get different ambassadors from different states, cities. Right now, the furthest I got out, I actually got 2 ambassadors from Canada right now. So like we getting out there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Canada. What part of Canada?
Yeah, man.
About? You know, man.
Right.
I love Canada.
Nova Scotia. I got 2 from Nova Scotia right now.
Man, yeah. you need to get to Montreal, man. Montreal is that. Trust me.
Hey, you know what's crazy though? I'm seeing about that, and the only reason being is because for some odd reason, when you ship to Canada, they charge the people in Canada to receive the package. So not only do I pay for the shipping, they charge what's called they charge what's called a duty. So like right now, I'm trying to figure that out, because I'm like, hold on, man, I can't have no. I can't have no disconnect with my overseas people, man.
Yeah, they might decide not to check the mail that day. You're right.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, hold on, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I ain't trying to come out the pocket extra. But nah, man. Seriously though, man. It's doing good. So that's what I got going right now. As far as donation type stuff, eventually, man, I want to give back to schools, man. I want to give back to churches. That's my goal. I want to start doing like fundraisers and stuff. But I got to just keep building first to be able to allot for that. So that is my long-term goal with that.
Man, that's amazing, man. Very, very, very proud of you too, bro. Yeah, man, we love it.
Appreciate
Man,
that. Appreciate that, man.
Tell us, man. We know the future sincerely yours. So right now, I know you have more of an online and a home storefront. Do you ever see yourself going to a larger storefront? Let's say inside of more of a physical location or inside a mall, or what? What's the vision for
it? Yeah, man. Honestly, man. I'm sorry. Honestly, online presence is so key right now and vital. That's why I've been so adamant on that. I have been approached though by two like kiosks in the mall or whatever. By East El Mall. I had maybe a possible opportunity in the Zelda Road Plaza here in Montgomery. Wow. To actually get a store. Yeah. I've been approached about it, but I kind of turned the deals down because it didn't really make sense for me. Now if something comes along like Target or like the big boys, we might have to see what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? But as of now, though,
so man,
to answer your question direct,
I mean to cut you off, but I'm wondering.
No, you good.
So like with the Zelda Road opportunity, I'm saying like was cost maybe a factor? Cost like maybe like renting space.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, cost was the biggest factor because it's like you looking at, it might cost, let's just say $1,500 or something a month for this space. So maybe even you can probably get down to $1,100, But if you're not having people supporting you, I'm not saying I don't get support because I do get love for the brand, man. But like having your own store is a huge thing. It ain't pizzas and roses like everybody think it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the first thing people think. They like, oh, it's so cool to get you a store, but you got to think about overhead of the store. You got to think about the actual. It's just like a house or an apartment. Utilities, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Actually keeping stock in the stores, and then just all of that, and then on top of that, if you're not in a position to where, let's say, you're just making a whole lot of money with the brand right away, then you got to look into employment, hiring people to actually work the store when you're not there, because you still might have to work a 9 to 5. So in a perfect world, if everything is just checked out and like we're to a point to where I don't have to work, then absolutely, man, I would love a store, man, and that is the goal one day, man. But as of now, though, man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm enjoying this online space. It's much easier, man. I'm trying to. I'm trying to get to a point of better delegation, because right now, man, I'm just a one-man army. But I am looking to eventually, man, get help with it. You know what I'm saying? So I can grow further.
Yeah, man. I mean, and you're right. Those are the challenges for owning your own space, because I know that in business, you take a lot of risks. You work for yourself anyway. All right, because
absolutely,
you're taking on, number one, the entire company, every department, accounting, HR, you name it, all the expenses.
Yeah.
And then those months when you possibly go in the red, you don't want to end up on the street either. You don't want to end up being
exactly.
Home.
Exactly.
So,
now you got a sign that say closing soon or liquidation sale. You don't want that to be you, man. You know what I'm saying?
And you're right. And I'm glad you spoke on that, because to take it step by step, not the rest of the process. To staying profitable. Cutting any losses, expenses as much as you can. We don't know everything, but for the most part, we're gonna make sure we do what we can.
That what you just said is actually the first step, man. Knowing your numbers, knowing what you're doing.
Do what we can.
How can we make this cost efficient to be able to where you can stay into business? You know what I'm saying? So those are important steps within starting your stuff.
Man, so we started back in 2012. What advice would you give your younger self back then for what you learned throughout your journey?
Man, don't tell everybody what you're trying to do, man.
Why is that? Why is that? I mean, because man, the reason why I said it, because see, you know what? I went through a phase like that. I think I became too secretive. Well, I wasn't telling hardly anybody. I said, you know what? You got to tell somebody, because people will help. It's gonna be good and bad people wherever you're going in this life. But you got to take the step out there and at least put it out there, because then You know who's
Oh,
for,
absolutely, yeah.
and you know who's not.
Nah, like, see, so 2012, man, was actually 2012 was like where it was born at, like where it was like, okay, hey, this is that was the first sketch that I showed my brother Brandon, as you know.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
drew
yeah.
a picture out for him, and I actually created a character. So the true genesis of Sincerely Yours, I was at home one day in my mom's living room, and we was watching Rocky, and I was just like, you know what? And this, I'm gonna tap into my nerd side a little bit,
Go
nerd
ahead. We
slash
love it. I love it.
movies like sports, you know. So I was like, we was watching Rocky, and specifically it was Rocky 3, and I was like, man, I always just enjoyed the spirit of Rocky, like that underdog feeling. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a character, take the basically the DNA extractance of Rocky and put him into a character, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna inject that into fashion. Basically, that was like my whole mesh up going on in this crazy brain idea. Basically, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what I did, man. I sketched the first character. It was a bear that was a boxer. His name was Jack the Gun. I showed my brother. I said, hey man, I'm gonna start a clothing brand, man, around this character right here. So I did that, and then I designed another character, 4.0, which was he had a backwards hat with the big glasses. You know what I'm saying? Cool kid or whatever. He was meant to show kids that it's all right to be smart, to show that you got capabilities of intelligence and intellect. You know what I'm saying? So all of them was designed based off of stuff when I did those characters. It was just never me just drawing a character just to draw them because. But I
Oh, okay.
understood
That's where we
eventually
got it from.
that exactly. So I understood eventually that you just couldn't put that out there because people's attention span is short, man. You know what I'm saying? So to explain a whole character line in clothes, you ain't really got that much time. You probably got about 15 seconds worth of time. So that's when I kind of
Yeah.
developed it more over time. But yeah, right in 2012, man, is where I decided to do it. And the reason why I would say don't tell your ideas to everybody, to get back to your question, was because I used to do that. I used to go to certain family members or certain friends, and I was like, hey, this is the brand. That's what I want to do. And I remember one person told me, "Man, you want to call it Sincerely Yours? Like that name's too long. Like I don't think that's gonna work, bro." You know what I'm saying? He told me that. One other dude was laughing because I said I had characters. He was like, "Man, what you trying to be, Marvel or something?" Like I just used
Man,
to get
come on.
all types of like rebuttal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Those are
And
haters, bro. Those haters.
yeah. I shelved Sincerely Yours, man, because of that, man. From 2012 to 2017. So within that time, man, that's when I finally developed it more. I got the Best Buy. And he's another part of the story too. I don't know where he's at actually. I need to find him. But Tommy, you remember Tommy from the Geek Squad?
Yeah, I remember Tommy.
Yeah, I got up with Tommy. I said, hey man, this is brand that I was working on, man. These the characters of it. I need to take these drawings and polish them up on the computer side. And I know you could do that, right? He said, cool, yeah. So that was the merge of that. We did that. About that spring, I dropped all my teas. I was telling people subliminally
Oh,
that I
yeah.
was coming out with Sincerely Yours. Like I was telling people about it. I see different movie clips and stuff, and I would post it and I would say Sincerely Yours on it. So it was in front of people's faces the whole time. I just wasn't mentioning that a brand was coming. Long story short, man, April, man, dropped the whole thing, and I sold out, man, within like my first week, man, of having the brand out, man. Yeah, man.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was crazy.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it took me about 5 years, man, to get it off the ground, man, of having it just an idea in my head and just in my phone. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people think, anytime they start a new business or new endeavor, it's gonna be a quick, almost not even overnight thing, but maybe like the same day or week. And you know that it doesn't always happen that way. And just because they
Oh
happen
no.
fast, does not make that a failure at all. It's just that you're just in the building stage. You're building
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. And like you gotta, like and that's a real good question that you asked, man, because like, man, I used to do so much stuff back then, man. And it's just like it's like now seeing where I'm at now,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's like leaps and bounds now, bro. Like, you
What
know what I'm
is it?
saying? Because
Yeah. It's more
I just had to
enjoyable.
figure it out more. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, man, and it's more enjoyable too because now you still working, but you're not working as hard as you once did. I know you probably burnt some midnight. I know you have. You burnt some midnight oil.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
man, dude.
well,
I used
we
to
all
be out
have.
there, man. I used to be out there literally doing the photo shoots myself, like grabbing a camera and it's crazy, and all this right here should be a lot of value, man, to your consumers that watch your show, man, because you got to put in the work yourself, man,
Yes,
because
you
like
do.
ain't nobody finna do this for you, man.
No,
I hate to say. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. They ain't finna come out there. I know you see the entrepreneur people with the jets and the Lambos. Nah, it ain't like that, bro. You got to put the work in. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
trust me,
So,
trust me. It's been times when those same people had the same times with us. They didn't know if it's gonna be worth it in the end. You know, they almost gave
yeah,
up too, and it's something that allowed them to keep going. What was that one thing that kept you going the whole time?
man, the first time I actually saw somebody like wear it in public, like
Wow.
just going out and just spotting them, I was like, man, like, and like even like with when I recreated the logo, that's what I meant by like you got to just kind of stick with it, see what works, see what sticks to the wall, and
Okay.
like from 2012 to 2017, you know, I came up with my original characters that I had. In 2017, from 2019, that's when the hummingbird found me. And the hummingbird is my spirit animal for December. It's the brand's messaging behind it, basically forever going on the journey, embracing positivity and loving more fully. So that's what the hummingbird stands for. And each day the brand tries to channel the hummingbird. So that's where that whole logo right there came from.
Hmm.
But it took me, man, it took me a while though to get just something that made sense because you know, when you start a brand out, man, a lot of people will be like, okay, hey, I'm about to create this, I'm about to create that, I'm about to have this for this person. And it don't necessarily work like that. Like you gotta figure out, okay, how can I've talked about this in to when I would give people game and stuff, but you gotta figure out, okay, how can I get brand recognition to where if somebody go out, they can spot my brand. If you don't have that, then it's hard for your brand to kind of come off the ground.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Making it visible.
So exactly. So that's what I had to do. So I created one logo. After a while, I was giving them out for free. I was
Yep.
selling some of them
Yep.
too, but I was giving them out for free for like a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, it just catch, man. So I'll give you the answer, man. That what made me want to keep going was that like, you know, because I had plenty of times where I wanted to like, man, am I in over my head? 32 years old, man. This time I'll be this age. I'm still talking about I got a brain. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that would kind of go through my mind, man.
Yeah.
But somebody will send me a message though. Hey man, I saw your brand here, man.
Yeah.
This and this. It
Uh-huh.
came to my school, bro. Like, yo,
Right.
man,
Right.
yo, you doing it, bro. Or I
Right.
get that message,
Right.
somebody will be like, I seen
Uh-huh.
a girl in Walmart one day. I was real down on myself. I was about to literally quit the brand. I went in Walmart, man. I looked up. She like, hey, and she had the shirt on. I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These ain't
Yeah.
people I'm telling to wear it. They wearing it because they got love for me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
Love
it'll
and
be stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
it'll be
love
stuff
and
like
they
that that
also
make me
like it.
keep going.
They like the brand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love the image. You know what I mean? So yeah. So
Yeah.
that's really those are just some good signs to show you that hey keep going. I see you. You
Hmm.
got some good work. I told you that a long time ago. You got some good work, man. Just keep doing you because
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you obviously different, man. I remember you when you were younger. Man, you were you trying to challenge us in basketball practice. Like you were like in seventh grade. We in high school. Like, man, dude, who are you? Like, what you doing? I mean, so like that told me you were different already. But that was a good thing because I said, dang, he ain't backing down. He ready.
Yeah. Yeah. No, man. What I used to realize, Shot, man, is that like it's either gonna be two things in this world, man. Somebody gonna either tell you yes or no, or
Right,
like when you see these people on
right.
TV, these godly like figures that we figure that we look up to that is impossible. You got to
Hmm.
realize that these are people too. These people came up with an idea and they decided to do it. And it's like, what's the difference in you versus them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. And you know what? I
Yeah.
feel
So
like
once I grasped that, it was a wrap, man.
yeah. And I feel the same as that way. That's why I say, you know what, this year I'm gonna promote Right Now Radio, Right Now Networks. I'm gonna get my LLCs and everything behind me. And I'm about to go ahead and rock this thing and take it to the next level. I said, why not?
Oh
Because
yeah.
what I don't want to do is become an old man and look back and say what I should have done. At least now I'm doing it and I know the outcome of it and I'll be happy with that. The
Exactly. Just like,
entire experience.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's just like they said, man. They said the most millionaires is in the graveyard, man. You know what I'm saying? All the ideas and stuff, man. So
Nope.
so absolutely, man. That's a good point, man.
When I make it to the graveyard, when I make it to heaven, I'm gonna be empty. I'm gonna use every talent that God gave me. Seriously. Be on
I feel that. I feel that, man. Completely emptied out, man.
Yeah,
I did it all, man. I did it all, man.
Yeah. Leaving a legacy. We want all people to know what we've accomplished, pass all our knowledge and skills. And how do you want to be remembered? How do you want to be remembered?
Man, that's a deep question, man. That's powerful, man. I got to do my Kanye real quick while I think about the question for a little bit before I answer. But hold on, let me pause. But nah, man. Honestly, man. But nah, like honestly, man. I do want to be remembered. Not in a way of like when I go out the house, it's a million cameras flashing. That's not my intent. But I just want to be remembered solely, man, for like that I was a good-hearted person to people. On top of just I was able to compete because I mean the world, man, is competitive and there's nothing wrong with